Hi, YouTube. All right. I can't talk about not wanting something forced on my body. So I'll talk about the government for a while and whatever else comes on my mind, you know. But Doug was reading Nancy Pelosi was calling for funds for to the tune of $200 million to restore a golf course in Washington, D.C. Then it should be open to the public if it's government funded, like a museum or whatever, and people should play for free. Then, yeah, if it's historic and they think it's a part, they're not even a part of the United States. So, why would we want our money going towards something like that when there's children that are homeless out in our country all over the place? No, I'm not letting my heart say that's okay. So I could care less. Do like I love, and I grew up golfing. Go play mini golf. Buy some land like I do, and have your own golf clubs like I do. Be creative like the rest of the people in the world. We don't need fancy smancy country clubs to prove that we're a part of some kind of um, society that shouldn't even exist. I mean, nothing wrong with big golf courses and stuff if you can afford $300 for like 10 holes or something. You know, what if you carry your own bags, you know? Yeah, I grew up around that stuff. No, thank you. First time I went swimming in a country club pool, I'm like, whoa, some of these people look like I want to drown them. But, I was a kid. That's how kids think. Some kids. you know. No, actually, I wasn't. That was a joke. But if they want to make that serious, that's okay. I was a child that didn't like people in suits, even when I was forced to be around them all my life. So I like to dress up for myself, people around me in my life. But to actually be out in public just to spend a lot of money, and like I said, mini golf is phenomenal. If they want to take $200 million and open a few mini golf courses around the United States for people, I'm all in that. Hey, open them free to the public so people have things to do that they can social distance. Yeah, taxpayer funded. Hey, how about some tennis courts and some more b-ball courts and more skating rinks for people and free lifts to ski down a mountain? I mean, if we're going to actually put money towards entertainment, shouldn't it be for the people? You know, it's not an old it's not Lincoln's house or something like this here, you know, or the Liberty Bell, or, how important is it, you know, when you can tell me that not one homeless child that was born in the United States of America has some place to sleep at night, and their parents and them are all safe as people, as God intended his children to be united as families. When you tell me everybody's safe and sound, and all those children are safe from baby rapers that are protected by people with monetary interests, when you can tell me all that is a-okay, I will okay personally, hey, have a golf course, could care less if everybody was taken care of. So since people that were trained in the medical field don't have a open voice, you know, anymore to have a second opinion or a voice in the world talking to other people and their family members. I have seemed to have lost my right to speak as a citizen of the United States. But I wonder if Google perhaps has like CCP connections or some sort of dark cabal connections that don't really want my videos to get out there because people know I can speak clearly about a lot of things and get a lot of information out there. So, oddly enough, and it is odd because, okay, um, I've never had that vibe in my whole life in crowds, you know, unless it was the dark cabal that I was raised around. But not average, your average person. I can pretty much tell them how they're thinking or whatever. They like that too, I guess. But, you know, well, there's some things that people just can't get out of me because it's really none of their business, you know. Seriously. I have a friend that is talking about his mom's getting older and needing care and stuff. I wish you the best of luck. God bless all the elderly that our government doesn't care about anymore after they used us for our taxes all our lives. I was 9 when I got my first independent part time role in working, but I worked pretty hard delivering papers and magazines and flyers and a lot of stuff, selling candy, being a campfire girl selling candy, um, to go to camp, hey, you know, we even donated to children's societies, as campfire girls. So I was, and same with my Luther League. I was raised Lutheran, and my junior and senior Luther Leagues, we used to do things, um, car wash or whatever to gather money to support other kids in churches or if we took a trip or whatever. But we were active young people, entrepreneurs is what I was, and my brother, you know, catching frogs, selling them, digging worms, making my own money, you know, so buying my stuff that I needed. So, yeah, even as a young person, I collected cans and yeah, hey, right after my house burned down, I collected cans to get diapers and stuff for my kid. Um, and whatever I wanted, my cigarettes, whatever. I mean, I pulled a trailer in there. I didn't have to worry about a place to live, but funds were short because time off of work and different things. So, yeah, and I was just getting out of a kind of a not a bad situation. I had a really good boss. I remodeled a couple places and um was working on my own. Got mine done and it burnt down. Had a nice garden though. Pulled the trailer in, but then I started collecting cans and smashing them and we'd take them in like once a month and we'd have money for stuff, you know. So fished a lot, sold fish fillets, so bass fillets to this one guy that ran a VFW. Was like he'd pay $5 a pound for fillets. So that was good money way back when. That was probably when? 1980, three, yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah, so 82 or three, somewhere in there. Four. I don't think any more than that. Somewhere around in that time zone. So yeah, I'm still working on the kitty house. I've got some variegated fiberglass I'm gonna put up that's clear. Um, so they have more sunlight in there, and we have a rubber mat. It's real thick. They use it around farms for to put like over your hay bales and whatever. But it'll make a perfect roof, and it's like quarter-inch thick. Nail it down with roofing nails, and it'll be perfect and warmer for them with windows I'm putting in and everything. And I'm going to take our four-wheeler out of there and put it in my horse's barn and some other stuff and make them some ramps and perches. And I've got some 2x4s and platforms and different things. I'm going to make them a kitty house, get them fixed, and there they can live. I'll take care of them. So we thought about putting them out in Dusty's house, but it's like, nah, this is closer and it's more secluded in the wintertime away from the north wind and that. And it gets more sunlight on all sides for them. Even though there is a big pine tree there, but it still will get more sunlight. Or it's easier to enclose for them too, to keep warmer. So yeah, and once the hot air gets in there through the day, that'll keep them through the night. So yeah, so I'm saving animals from freezing to death, and I just wormed them, and their fleas are gone, so they're healthy and happy. you know. That's pretty important. The little things are important. That mama cat is so grateful. So is that little kitten that just walked in the yard. I had a premonition of that, but I didn't know I'd have all these other cats when that happened. So that's the strange part. So, yeah, I don't know it all. I can get surprised. That one surprised me. It's a beautiful day. It rained pretty hard last night, and I made a video with some mushrooms in there and showing you part of the yard and stuff because it was just really nice. So, yeah, the big oak tree, and it's at least 300 years old. It could be closer to four, or who knows, because they grow slow. And we freeze like even 50, 60 below, and then with wind chills, so that's a tough old tree, and it's been there forever. And I think the hill actually has Indian burial mounds there. um, we've got a lot of really unique geological things in our area, like the creek bed is an old um, volcano that came um, appeared when the glaciers melted then, because when it froze up this old volcano, and when everything melted, it exposed it. So, and I can tell because of the geology, the rocks, and geology rather. And yeah, so it is a really unique area, and there's a lot of arrowheads and some really cool rocks like let's see, now I got to get it right. A meteorite comes through the atmosphere, breaks up its meteors, and we have a lot of meteors, and they're magnetic. And then you can tell by the volcano rock in the creek bed is lava rock. And there's also cobalt that was formed from the sand mixing with the lava. And that's prized glass making. The only way you can make blue is with cobalt in glass making. So, and now gems. So, rare things, and I could go on. There's pyrite and well, all kinds. There's granite and quartz and rose quartz, white, beige. There's, let's see what else. Mm, I don't know. I right now, I guess, but yeah, I could sit there and strain my brain, but you get the picture, you know. But isn't that something that they want to fix up all that? I mean, uh, given our so-called foes over in the Middle East a bunch of weaponry, what a bunch of clowns. You know what? And the taxpayers are paying for this. They don't even know that the Syrian people, they just want to wipe out the language and history of the humans. Same in Afghanistan, hiding any remainders of what people are trying to keep alive, that they tried to change time like 400 after death, 400 years, and a few hundred years before the Crusades, they were trying to twist everything. I mean, they tried from Egyptian times with drugs and wizardry and everything all this whole time. It's always been that, with that dark magic. But through the ages, the pure souls have kept the stories orally, and the time is in our hearts. And the time is in their hearts too, but we're aware of it. They're afraid of it. Um, we all know their time is short. Time's up. You know, there's a place for them. They cannot control others, and they can't control themselves. They have no business trying to control others. They think that we prepared this world like we would a meal for them, that they can just feast on our labors. And that's ridiculous. They're barely acting human, let alone would I want to give them anything somebody that's acting human deserves. And these are the times we're in. So, yeah. I listened to Monograph channel live stream, was really excellent this morning. Um, he keeps abreast of the stock markets and different things. Um, and just different things like that's going on in the news, like Alexandra Ocasio Cortez, AOC, wearing that dress, saying to tax the rich. You know, yeah, tax the rich, feed the poor. We don't want no wars no more. You know, that's been going on since the 60s, and they're trying to silence everybody. It's not old hippies, it's not conspiracies. It's the good people standing up for the younger generations that aren't backing down, that have known their regime from their childhood on up, because we were raised with this shit and we see what they do. And you can only see it so many times where you finally say, hey, if that cat keeps peeing in the same spot, it's going to like ruin the wood. Or I'm not saying no, mine doesn't, but Doug's. Um, but you see what I mean? It's going to stain it and stink it and whatever. Pretty soon, when the government keeps peeing in the same spot, pretty soon you're like, this really stinks, you know, and you want to say something about it so the next generations coming up doesn't have to go through those things, you know. You put an end to it. It has to be. It's time. So God's people need to reign. They need to start standing up in their positions of office and do their jobs with God in their hearts instead of greed. And that's the bottom line. Or they need to go before a tribunal because they're treasonous. So, and so are the medical and the media, and I could go on and on. It's treason. So hopefully this won't get flagged. I'm starting to go down the road I was on yesterday, and I don't want to have to not be able to say hi to my oldest granddaughter that's adolescent and needs um, her stable-minded grandmother like my friends need me, with God in my heart and the love for everybody, talking like a human being instead of some greedy, robotic, satanic regime that really has no pure happiness within it for the people that are suffering with that. Because they suffer in the light. It's being exposed and it's hurting them. They don't like it one bit and they're trying to push. Well, I'm pushing back. I'm not stopping. Still here. So, yeah. I had a couple setbacks and I had to take a little vacation and meet my grandchildren and, pretty important things. But, you know, besides that, I'm not going anywhere. And I'm going to keep saying what's going on, little things here and there. And I'll be talking more about diseases in our body and truly the balance of food, but not letting them go with all that. I'm not telling anybody what to eat, okay? Because I don't eat a lot of meat, but I do believe that there's a certain strength that you might have to endure, that you would need that extra, the slowest soluble amino acid protein going into your body for that big job that you do. So I would be very careful on listening to people that aren't as badass as I am at my age. And, I could arm wrestle people with great big biceps and still do some shit, you know. So I'm not just saying it. I'm just me. That's who I am. That's what I do. Whatever, you know. Maybe. But my youngest son couldn't put me down last time he seen me, and that wasn't that long ago. And I'm like, when I say enough though, because I'm like, no, I'm not going to let you break. I have osteoporosis, or yes, and arthritis but not really severely, not super bad amounts of bone loss or weakness in them because I take care of myself. But when I did have my operation from my allergies and sinuses and all that, deviated septum from being hit and all that. So when I had that done, um, it took, the injuries I've had takes time to recover, so, but I still, if even injured with one arm, even if it was a hand, I'd be like clubbing him to death, and be like, get away from me. you know, you know, because I've been through things like that. I'm speaking from experience here with the government too. And it is serious, a really serious thing. So the children matter. Children are what matters. A lot of us, we could drop dead right this second, you know, but at least I made a video telling the younger generations what this government's all about. It's all about their agendas. Nothing's ever changed from the beginning of their structure, pre Egyptian times. Same old, nothing new under the sun. That's the way it is. Look at stories from, um, mm, look at the oldest stories on the planet in their history where people began, wherever that may be. Pick an older area and just look at the stories of what has gone on and the correlation to say, like you could put yourself in there right now, today. The same people, same story, different time type of feeling. So, because they're time bandits, but they didn't get away with it because God never forgot his clock, you know, like he is the clock, you know. So, yeah, no worries, everybody. I'm just out here entertaining you. I love you. Have a good day. I'm gonna go out and build a little bit on that kitty house after I upload this. I have to make sure it goes through and all that good stuff. So peace and love. Thank you so much for joining me.